to discuss the subject and the object in any given sentence. And this is a very important topic because this is the base for the next topic that we are going to cover, that is the transitive and intransitive verbs. Now, so you need to watch this video right till the very end because we are going to cover what is the subject, although we've already covered up in our previous video, but we'll have a recap again. We are going to cover up the object, how many types of objects are there. Most importantly, how do we identify any given object in a sentence? How many types of objects are there? And of course, the practice round that is there, that is the exercise. So, do watch it again right till the very end. So, in a sentence, as we've already done before, a sentence contains the subject part and the predicate part. Now, the subject is the noun or pronoun about whom we are talking in the sentence. That means it is the part of the sentence that is doing the action, and so we call it as the doer. Now remember this word because we'll be referring to it again and again. So the subject is the doer. Now, for example, a very simple sentence, the dog ran after the cat. Whom are we talking about? Who is doing the action? The dog. It can also be a pronoun. So we are going to the zoo. So we is the subject. And the subject does not necessarily have to be just one word or two words. It can be more than 2-3 words also. So do watch the long video. We also have a 6 minutes video for that. So and in the predicate part now we are going to look around for the object. So what is the object in any given sentence? The object in a sentence is the thing or the person upon whom the action is done. We can also say that the object is the receiver of the action. We shall be seeing some examples so that this concept becomes absolutely clear. And there are two types of objects, the direct object and the indirect object. Now, what is it? Let us look at the direct object first and then we shall proceed to the indirect object. So the object, as we said, is the receiver of the action. Who is receiving the action? Now, how do we find out that object in a sentence? There are 2-3 steps. Let us look at them one by one. First of all, in any given in any given sentence, first of all, identify the verb. For example, in this sentence, Ashita loves pancakes. Let us first of all identify the verb. What is the verb? Loves. Subject, I think it's very clear. You all know Ashita is the subject. Now comes the most important part of identifying the object. Now, loves. This is the action. Who is receiving this action? Loves. The action is being received by the pancakes. The action is falling on the pancakes. Thus, Ashita loves pancakes. Now, another very important thing is identify the verb and then simply ask the question, what? There are two questions. Either you can ask what or either you can ask whom. But here let us see what happens when we ask what. Ashita loves, verb, what? You get the answer, pancakes. So pancakes upon whom the action is directly falling, this is called as the direct object. And loves is the verb and Ashita of course is the subject. So these two questions, if you ask what or whom, you can immediately get your answer that yes, that is the direct object. For example, over here now, let us see. Binu called me yesterday. First of all, identify the verb. So called is the verb. Now, called what? What we do not say for human beings. Let us take the next question. Called whom? Called me. So this me over here is your direct object. And subject of course is Binu. So very easy. Just ask the question what or the question whom and you get your answer as the direct object. And what is the structure of that sentence in which you have a direct object? Now, Be attentive to this, because when we're going to do indirect object, the structure will change little. So here we have the structure as subject plus the verb plus the direct object. This is how we can easily find out the direct object. Let us look at a few more examples. Okay, some more examples, and now let us find out the direct object in these given sentences. So, Rishabh painted a scenery. Step 1, identify the verb. So, which is the verb? Painted is the verb. Now, ask the question what or whom. If you get an answer immediately for what, that means that's the direct object. If you do not get, then take the next question, whom. Whom means also who. Then, painted what? Are you getting an answer? Yes, you're getting an answer. A scenery. So, this scenery is your direct object. Easy. Next, we completed our project. Again, completed what? Our project. That's the direct object. Then again, the man with the red hat has a black cat. Like I had said, subject does not necessarily have to be just one word or two word. It can be a little longer also. So over here the subject is the man with a red hat. Verb is has. What does he have? He has a black cat. And this is the direct object. Similarly, next, everyone liked the comedy show. Liked what? The comedy show. Now, last sentence, I met my uncle yesterday. Step 1, identify the verb met. Met what? Are you getting an answer? No. So take the next question, whom? Whom? My uncle. And my uncle over here is the direct object. So this is it. Always see who is receiving the action. Okay. Now let's move on to the second type of object, and that is the indirect object. The next type of object is the indirect object. Now an indirect object will always come wherever there is a direct object in the sentence. Why? Because an indirect object is the receiver of the direct object. What do we mean by that? Let us now look. Example, I passed Veena some sweets. Same thing we continue that we had for direct object. First of all, identify the verb. Now, first of all, we are going to find out the direct object in the sentence. Past, two questions we asked. What? Past what? Past some sweets. So this is the direct object. This is the verb. Now, past some sweets. Who is going to receive the sweets? Who is the receiver of the direct object now? Receiver of the direct object is Veena. So Veena now becomes the indirect object. Why? Because Veena is the receiver of the direct object. Very simple. Direct object you have to find out by asking the question what or whom, and then ask the question to the direct object. Who is going to receive that direct object? So that receiver will be the indirect object. Structure, subject plus verb plus the indirect object plus the direct object. So as you can see, the indirect object that is there, that always comes between the verb and the direct object. Let us look at a few more examples so that this concept of the indirect object also will become clear. Now some examples in which we are now going to identify the direct object and most importantly the indirect object. The first sentence, Seema gave Rishabh a present. Just follow the steps, and in the steps that we do, step 1 is identifying the verb. So gave is the verb. Now we have to find out the direct object first. So now gave what? Gave what? Gave a present. So this present over here is the direct object. Now who is the receiver of this present? The receiver of this direct object present is Rishabh. So Rishabh over here becomes the indirect object. Easy. Again, can you lend me your blue pen? Lend, the verb, what? What? Blue pen. This is the direct object. You've already got an answer. Now, what are we saying? Who is going to be the receiver of this blue pen? Who will get it? Me. So me over here is the indirect object. The indirect object. Similarly, Jackie made his mother some tea. Again, step 1, the verb. Made what? Some tea. So some tea over here is the direct object. Who is going to receive the tea? Who is the receiver of the direct object? His mother. So his mother over here is the indirect object. And again, we are having the same structure formation. Subject plus the verb plus the indirect object plus the direct object. Or as we say, the indirect object always comes between the verb and the direct object. Similarly, Payal passed her mother the bowl of fruits. All the blue highlighted ones are the direct objects and the pink highlighted ones are the indirect objects. So that's it. The number 4 was the PT teacher taught us new exercises. The verb is taught. Taught what? New exercises, that is the direct object. Who's going to be the receiver of those new exercises? Us. So us is the indirect object. And that's it, direct object, indirect object. You just need to remember that to find out, first of all, the direct object, ask the question what, whom, and after that, see who is going to receive the direct object. Okay, so come on, let's just put this into practice. One little worksheet for you, where first of all, yes, you have to first identify the objects and then state whether they are direct or indirect. So let's begin. Out with your answers all in front of you, and as you can see, all the blue highlighted ones are the direct objects and the pink highlighted ones are the indirect objects. And when you just look at it without actually reading the sentence, you can see that all sentences do not have an indirect object. But wherever a pink is there, a blue is also there. Okay. So first, Harshit is writing a letter. Is writing what? A letter. So a letter is the direct object. I bought my sister a teddy bear. Bought what? A teddy bear. So teddy bear is the direct object. Who's going to receive it? My sister. So that's the indirect object. And similarly, all the others, some biscuits is direct. The dog, indirect. The king gave the man a gold coin. Gave what? A gold coin. Who's going to receive it? The man. And similarly the others. Pranjal bought a bouquet of flowers. That's it. Nothing else. For whom he brought and nothing is given after that. So we just have a direct object over there. So that's all for today. Do go through this video again because our next video is going to be on transitive and intransitive verb. And for that your concept of the object should be absolutely clear. So till we meet again in our next video, it's goodbye.